when you think of like application developers, like where I started my career, like building apps, and you knew, I mean, I'll date myself, but like back in the day, you were like, everybody was on like a 14.4 kilobit connection, and then you got like 28.8, and then you got 56K, and we were like, oh my God, we can do almost anything. And so then like with video games and certain things, you were like, oh, now we got a whole new world. Let's start networking our computers together. We can play games against each other. Like, what getting ubiquitous broadband out does, like actual broadband speeds to, like I would say it like this. I would say that I think that like 90+% of the country is going to get gig speeds. Now those gig speeds could come from wireless, they could come from a cable company, or they could come from a fiber provider. Hopefully it's fiber,
yep.
but it's going to come from a blend of those three. But I think 90+% of the country is going to get to gig speed. And then what that's going to do is allow AR, VR, the metaverse. You know, I've been to conferences where everybody's like the metaverse, and not just meta, you know, Facebook, but like just the idea of the metaverse is going to be your reality by 2030. And I can't wrap my head around what that means. But I think when you give developers and you say, hey, there is going to be a way to have gig type speeds at 90% of the American households, all of a sudden, who knows what people are going to build, because you now have a platform that you can actually deliver that on. Because before, you know, if you talked 30% of the country or something like that had like a very fast, you know, like a true, like kind of gig speed type internet connection. And I think now they say it's up to 40%. You can't really launch your applications assuming that everybody has that fast of a connection, because some people like me live out in the mountains, and before, you know, we're still on kind of a garbagey internet connection, but I have a fiber overbuild that's down the street, and I'm going to get fiber next year. So I think like eventually then you can say, oh, almost everybody has this. Now I can do 16K TV or whatever those other things are. And maybe it's like, do we need 16K TV? It's like, no, I haven't even bothered with the 4K TV yet. But if you can do it, the marketing guys, you marketing guys are going to figure out a way to market it and sell that stuff to get people to buy it. And it's going to proliferate. So like by providing the connectivity, I think it just enhances that economy to say, let's go out there and do that. And then when you do that, it's going to create a whole bunch of security jobs that are going to parallel along that to see what content is real, what content's fake. You know, and then so I think it's the sky's the limit, but I think ultimately, like all of us, as we expand these networks and we get people connected, I mean, it's going to be amazing to see what happens.
People in rural communities certainly need internet access for applying for jobs, telemedicine, and maybe email. Yep. But honestly, to Justin's point, they also expect entertainment. So that's now one of the basics and one of the minimums. You don't need gig for entertainment, but I think you do need some degree of broadband, obviously. And that's, I think, what the vision is with regards to funding rural communities as well. So I hope it continues.
So guys, I've got a cabin in Cashton, Wisconsin, and I am surrounded by Amish. There's literally me and two other neighbors that have electricity. And because the federal government is bridging the digital divide, I have 50 meg symmetrical fiber at my cabin. It's an 11-mile shot. They trenched it right to my house. And I am able to be entertained. I am able to do work. I'm not there right now, but I can do my Teams calls, my Zoom calls. I can be productive with my team in my cabin at 50 meg symmetrical, like I am running a business. And it works. So really, I question those folks that are like, Justin, I agree with you. I think 90% of the country is going to get gig because the technology is there with fixed wireless, with fiber, but we really don't need those speeds in some areas. Some areas, if we just have 120 or 50 symmetrical, that's going to get the job done and provide a lot of this country what they need.